So with banking laws, do you still have to do everything in cash, or?
No, I'm lucky. I have a credit union that worked with me from the start, and they switched to a state charter from a federal, so I think that kind of helped make that possible. There are also a couple local banks that are working with our industry, but it's a very dynamic situation. Any given day, I wouldn't be surprised if I get a call from my credit union and say, sorry, we can't work with you anymore. And they know I've been fully open with them about my business and what I do, and it's kind of hard to hide when a lot of the checks that I'm depositing say like Cannabis Corp on them, and things like that. So and the big wads of money I have, because a lot of customers do pay me just in cash. It's kind of probably about 50-50, I'd say, in the industry, who has banking and checks and who works with cash. Fortunately, my credit union doesn't charge ridiculous rates for being able to use them, but I know a lot of banks do, especially the ones I think that work more with dispensaries who are doing a lot more money transactions. I think they kind of, I don't know details, but that's what I've heard, is that the rates are kind of steep for if a bank will work with you.
So you found a pretty good credit union that works through the state, and
Yeah.
that solved most of your problems on the financial end, so you don't have to carry around, tons of money to
Yeah.
do business. You can
Yeah.
just get it off your hands. And
Yeah, unfortunately, they're a smaller credit union, so I pretty much have to only go to their branch. I was able to use like an ATM at a different credit union that was allowing me to make deposits for a while, but then they stopped, and once they realized, I guess, my business, and so it's definitely a pain in the butt, because we're so heavily scrutinized that the chances of someone trying to get away with shady stuff, I just think, is so minimal, and the risk, the effort we have to go to, and the money we have to spend to get in this industry and get our license and get approved and get everything set up, and it's just so much to risk to try and do anything illegal. It's just incomprehensible to me. Not that it doesn't happen, probably, but
so the state of Colorado has worked with you guys to put all these safeguards in, and then they've worked with probably their credit unions to allow them to do this. So if the Fed, I know that they've been looking at the banking laws to allow the banks to work with the cannabis industry. So if they pass those laws allowing the banks to do this, that would probably boost the economy here in Colorado once they open up those banking laws.
it certainly wouldn't hurt. I would think that would definitely help. Another kind of downside to all of that is I can't really get a traditional loan, like just personally, because of my business that I'm in and what I own. That's the first thing any bank's going to ask is, what do you do? Where's your money coming from? So I can't even get a traditional home loan. I can't get, any kind of regular loan. Even my credit union that works with my business won't give me a home loan.
Oh, wow.
So, and they also have stopped taking new customers, I was told, too. So I kind of, so far so good, but yeah, I had to go to a special circumstance lending type of business to try and see if I could get a home loan through them. And their words to me verbatim were, in the last couple of months specifically, that because of Trump, banking has gotten even more difficult for our industry, and so these companies that specialize in working with people that are self-employed or those type of not traditional banks, which is who I went to, there was one company that they still would work with us, but just 2 months ago when I was working with this company, like, they were offering me a traditional loan and decent terms. I call them 2 months later, and it's like, no, most of those are gone now. They won't work with anybody. And so you know, we're kind of treated like second-class citizens and criminals, even though we're not. And so it's very frustrating to, you know, not be able to get a house for myself. You know.
So you stay in an apartment then?
Right now, I'm actually my business partner who helped me kind of get this going. I'm staying with him until I can save up basically enough money to buy a house for cash, which in this market is a lot of money.
I noticed that. I actually was looking at some of the houses on Zillow,
Yeah.
and it seems like a decent house around Denver is about 400,000 is kind of starting.
Yeah. And they're getting it hasn't slowed down, and that's, you know, partially the marijuana industry has created this a little bit because it's brought so many people here, whether it's for work or to use the products for their health or for whatever reason. This is a great state. People love it here. So the population keeps growing, but it's really boomed since the marijuana industry has gotten going, and all the side industries that benefit from it. It's not just the marijuana industry. I mean, you have to have accountants, lawyers, different contractors, electricians, HVAC people. There's so many jobs created.
Well, I noticed that even the housing apartments there's lots of construction for homes going on. It seems pretty crazy.
They can't build fast enough. I mean, there's definitely a housing shortage here, which is why the prices are where they are. And so, yeah, you go up and down the Front Range, and it's from here to, I go up to Fort Collins quite a bit, a couple customers up north, an hour north of here, and it's just development all the way from here to there. And yeah.
Well, I noticed the gas prices aren't that bad. They're about the same as Indiana.
Yeah.
So, you know, it seems like the cost of living isn't bad. It's just the cost to buy a house.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. I don't know the numbers on it, but yeah, it's challenging. I'll be looking, you know, you'd be looking at spending $500,000 on a decent house in a nice neighborhood, or any, you know, nothing fancy at all. Just
well, we went out to eat a couple times, and it didn't seem like the price of food was exorbitant when I went out to the restaurants, and
right.
It's similar to Indianapolis area.
Right. Yeah, it's not quite at California expenses level, but it's getting closer all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Denver seems to be a pretty large population. Do you have an idea of how many people live here?
Denver City and County it hovers around 1 million, maybe a little 1.5 million maybe now. But the greater metro area is pretty comparable to Indianapolis size. It may have passed it recently, but I know it's always been pretty similar to Indianapolis.